Welcome and thank you for joining us on episode 8 of the PAYDAY Crimecast. In case it's your first time tuning in or you haven't already guessed, the PAYDAY Crimecast is a podcast in which we analyze, speculate on, and simply just ramble about every aspect of the Payday game series. So, for all you hardcore Payday fans out there, the PAYDAY Crimecast was created for you. So, on today's show, we're going to be covering a brief update of the ongoing Hypetrain event, Payday 2's Hotline Miami 2 tie-in DLC, and, as always, the controversies of the week, this time concerning the Butcher mod pack, and the recently announced Payday Crimewave Edition for PS4 and the Xbox One. I'm Edward, also known as Edis Lido on the Payday the Heist subreddit, and I'm here with a few other Payday the Heist subreddit, quote-unquote, alumni. So we have Remy, also known as Morgrim, say hello.
Hello.
And of course we have Lockie, also known as Ostro, say hello.
Hello there.
And of course we also have our own very fledgling subreddit, which can be found at our Payday Crimecast, who would have guessed, where we welcome discussion and especially harsh criticism of our show, /content, /voices, etc. Take your pick. So, our mics are on, let's get to work. First off, we have the Hypetrain projections, as we have here on our topic list. So, did one of you guys want to go over that? Where are we now?
Well, firstly, the reason it is called Hypetrain projections is because this is before the whole thing with Hotline Miami 2 adding it, and it looked like we weren't even going to get Bonnie, by the end of...
So close.
I believe we do have her by now.
I know, I'm saying so close to not getting her.
Alright, guys, go
Nothing
on.
stops this train, except for the Bonnie character pack. Please stop the train before we get there.
Yep,
yes,
we get her. We get the 10 heisters flown to LA, but we don't get Hoxton Revenge.
Yes.
That would suck.
So we're at the Golden Grin now?
Yes, we just passed that. Actually, we've long passed the Golden Grin Casino preview.
Yeah, because it only updates
yeah,
every certain amount of time, right?
And to be specific, we have about 1,197,097 gallons of hype fuel. So we're very, very close to unlocking Bonnie.
You would think there could be an algorithm just to do it live. Just count up all the purchases.
Unfortunately,
it's easier to
not
just pull it every
is,
certain amount of hours.
Overkill is not Bill O'Reilly.
It's easier to just pull it after a certain amount of time. Much easier.
Well, I did not have the greatest expectations
music.
of the Hype Train initially because, well, I mean, just the concept of it wasn't too appealing. But admittedly, I mean, we've gotten really far in it. I've just really bowled over by how far we've come. But then again, I think we were kind of misled at one point, especially at the beginning, because we didn't think there was going to be more ways to get hype fuel.
Oh yeah.
Now there's a lot of ways to get hype fuel, but even just looking at the past stops that we've been to, we actually have quite a bit of stuff. I mean, we got side jobs, we got the new SWAT van turret enemy.
That's gonna be annoying.
Yes, it certainly is. We did kind of go over that in the previous podcast. We're not exactly sure how it's going to work.
Sorry for the audio quality, ladies and gentlemen. This is Australian internet.
Well, hopefully we're going to be using my record.
Hopefully.
Let's hope so.
But yes,
Robot.
other than the enemy, the SWAT van turret, we're not exactly sure how that's going to work because we have engine limitations and everything like that. We're just going to hope that Overkill can really get their shit together.
Yep, Hoxton Breakout's going to be fun.
Well, it's interesting to think about because we haven't got to Hoxton Revenge. Oh, it's not Hoxton Breakout, it's Hoxton Revenge. But yeah,
no. I think he means with
Hoxton
the turret.
Redemption.
The first day is going to be.
Oh, that's true. There are a lot of movable ones.
Breakout.
Yeah. Although the second day,
take some minutes to
through that.
Well, I'm hoping
you guys are breaking up.
Well, I'm hoping the SWAT van turret enemy's not going to come crashing through the FBI walls and driving around in the lobby.
It's like bus stop, but not.
Well, I don't think the cops want to pay for damages, so I don't know.
Yeah, we don't want to add tread marks on the floor in addition to all these bullet holes.
Of course not.
But yes, the point I was getting at is that we've got a lot of stuff now. So I'm happy, but I'm sure everyone wants the Hoxton Revenge heist for free.
Yep.
But that is stop 9, so we do have to pass, I think, 2 more stops, including Bonnie. And that really is the
Bonnie
last.
and sending 10 heisters
Yes,
to LA
that really is the last
to E3
stop that actually gives us game content.
Yeah, and look, Payday Con, of course, it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the especially the 10 heisters flying to LA, that does not affect any of us in any way.
unless one of us happens to be one of the 10 heisters.
Well, no, because it's the criteria is 18. No, it's 21 plus
Oh yeah, fuck that.
American citizen. So
Oh, American.
none of us are that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
To be American really is the hardest
First
criteria
class.
to meet.
Yeah.
Damn,
Sure thing.
I'm so close. I'm
Yes,
just
so far.
close to the border. But yes,
Just
we
run
did
across
get
the border.
we did get a huge boost from the Hotline Miami 2 pre-order thing.
Yes, we did.
I think Lockie actually said you think it might have become unbalanced by the pre-order. Is that right?
I don't remember saying that.
It's written here.
Apparently, yeah. The problem with the pre-order is that I don't think it was going to originally have hype fuel tied to it, but then Overkill was like, "Oh shit, they don't want to buy enough to reach the end. Let's just tack on the hype fuel here, and we'll be good."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were kind of misled at the beginning. People did suspect that Overkill would try to pull something like this. Not to say that it's a bad thing, because it means more free content, but people on the subreddit kind of suspected that, hey, maybe we might not make the the goals, so
Yeah.
Overkill's going to try to pull some strings to make it happen. And it looks like this is it. Because the people who pre-order Hotline Miami 2, conceivably they wouldn't even know about Payday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Depends. There's gonna be the whole like Hotline Miami fans are gonna buy it. They're gonna be like, "Oh, hey, we get this free Payday stuff. Oh, what's Payday?" And they'll go and they'll buy maybe buy Payday. That's like over $100 now for all the DLC and everything when it's not on sale.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of profit
Yep.
for Overkill. And then you have the flip side of the coin, which is like everybody who's played Payday 2, already knows about Hotline Miami because of the original tie-in. So, because they
Yeah,
know
and
Hotline
there's a
Miami,
heist in,
chances
like,
are
every
they've
minute.
played it, which means they'll be like, "Hey, a second one, that's pretty dank." So they'll get it.
Unless you're Australian.
Unless you're Australian.
Well, I can't deny the marketing move by Overkill. I definitely applaud them for this because it's, well, the way you describe it, it really is a win-win for both developers.
Yeah.
Swedish people coming together.
It's a win-win for the players, too. Free stuff, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
And good
wins.
games. It's hard to say no
Yeah.
to.
it is.
Well, yeah, it's going to be more of the same. So
Well, that was a
That
brief
sounds
look
good.
at the hype train. Are you guys
Yeah.
excited, especially after the train wreck we thought it to be last week? Or
I'm
I'm
not.
excited for side jobs actually. Like
I'd
side
definitely say
jobs
that I'm hyped.
is. I'm quite hyped for that.
I really hope the side jobs are going to be like, make some
Yeah,
phone
like-
calls to your family during the bank heist when you're waiting for the drill.
How much can they actually do with side jobs? It's not like they either have to change the maps or there have to be
Yeah.
some kind of very small, merely insignificant, not really interesting side jobs, depending on the map.
Something NPC based, like I don't know, like type a VIP, put it in
like
a bag.
achievements.
Well, I'm just wondering.
Achievement tasks, basically.
I'm just wondering, just the way the map maker works is if they can go into the map, add another room, and have it ready to be played by anyone.
Haven't
And-
they done that though? Like with
They haven't
certain
done any-
maps, they've changed bits of it.
They haven't
But
really
would that
done
mean
any
you have to download the
significant
whole thing?
changes like that. Objectives really never change, and I don't know how easy that is to change. So if there were side jobs, I don't know if I'm going back on what I said before, but I suspect it to be something like this, or I expect it to be something like this, where they just add a couple more rooms, perhaps, that you can infiltrate, get some
Yeah.
extra loot out of, but it won't actually come
Yeah,
up with an objective marker on your screen, like telling you to go, hey, go loot
For
the
example, in
neighbor's place.
bank heists,
Yeah.
there's that there's like a shipping container in a lockup down the street.
Oh, yeah.
But
So you
that
could
requires they
do
change the
something with
map
that, yes.
boundaries. That means they have to create an entire new building.
Yeah.
And that means they have to
Yeah,
expand
it's true.
all of
That
the
sounds like the
um,
assets.
The borders.
what do we want to call it? I guess
everything.
props in the background, like beyond the map borders.
Yeah.
They have to expand
Yeah.
all of that, which is essentially like a massive map change. I don't think they're willing to do that to every map just for this job. I don't think they're willing to change every single map
Well,
just for that.
I think the fact that it's first means that it's probably already been worked on.
Well,
I
they
would
didn't
say.
even include any
Like,
screenshots. They just
I would
used
say
some
that would be the
generic
most
stuff.
important one.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Remember, we
Yeah.
still don't have half of the Crime Fest stuff, so I wouldn't count on it
FBI
being
files
first
probably
as
needs to be.
as an indicator of being worked on.
Yes, and we will talk about their work ethic later.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, well, that didn't really end up
Funny.
being a brief overlook of Hype Train, but we certainly
Yeah.
talked more about side jobs and how very excited we are about it.
Yeah, hype.
Uh, Butcher mod pack
Oh, yes, the Butcher mod
Yeah.
pack, it gave
that boosted it. Yeah.
the Hype Fuel quite a good boost as well, and in fact, on the Steam top sellers list, the Butcher mod pack is actually above Payday 2 in numbers sold, which is how I'm
Wow.
assuming it's sorted.
Surprising. Carfor.
Wait, it's
We'll
above
get to
the
that.
game.
Yes, it's above the actual game.
How is that possible
Like, more
that we
people
have
bought
more
it.
DLC buying than game buying?
I don't know if
It-
the list is
Well,
like
it happens
weekly.
when new DLC comes out, like with the bomb and all that. They're on like the third page. And
No, but is it like overall or like just for a certain amount of time? Because if it's
Oh.
overall, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it'd be like lately, wouldn't it? You know how Steam does it. It'd be.
I don't know. I don't know at all.
Alright.
Well, you know what? I was actually on the topic of the Butcher mod pack. I was a little disappointed because when day one came out, did all the math and all that, the subreddit went into overdrive, and the Carrefour was dethroned, and I was happy because we don't have a God gun. Well, I mean, the new God gun is the AK, but I mean, it's a change of pace. Day two comes out, Carrefour hits something ridiculous, like 80 damage now with the God stats.
What's that? The
I'm
SWAT one shot? SWATs?
Something like that. Yeah,
Like,
it's
'cause
ridiculous.
Green 130 to kill. I'm not sure what tans are.
I can't remember the breakpoints. But point being,
It's like Bronco
now
Cops
the
are 40, so
Carrefour
you can already.
Carrefour is once again ridiculous. It's like twice as powerful as it was
As it
before,
was before,
with this
yeah.
mod pack.
But only with DLC.
Yeah, only with the DLC. Pay to win, my ass. Yeah. Anyways, my little 2 cents there.
Oh yeah.
So now we go move on to Hotline Miami 2, or
Hell
do you
yeah.
have something else to say, or no?
Me? Hell no.
No?
I
All right, I guess
I
we'll just...
don't do weapons. I use a JP36 because I don't have enough mods to make the Carrefour good.
You're that guy.
I don't have any
Okay.
DLC really. I've got like the soundtrack, both soundtracks. I've got I think Weapons Pack 1, the one with the knives for some reason. I had a choice between the 2 weapon packs and I chose the one with the knives.
This is why when we play iHost.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the Hotline Miami 2 biggest part of this week's episode, I think.
Well, yeah.
So
Let's hope so.
Overkill kind of pulled a really nice what you would call it? I guess
PR? No.
a PR move. I guess it was kind of a PR move, but
Call it what you
Eh,
want. It's
just
just
so yeah, call it what you want. It was
it's a
just
reveal.
good guy Overkill. Basically, if you email, I think it was if you email
this, yes.
Overkill
Yes.
with your ID, proof of Australian citizenship, and be like, "Hey, can you give me one of them dank copies of the DLC?" Because of the whole Australian government banning Hotline Miami 2, which we won't get into.
I actually no.
That could be an entire other episode.
Wait, no,
Uh,
okay.
But
The way the PR has been done for this is like they're turning the government's dick move into good PR for like them. You know,
well, yeah, but that's a
Denaton,
good
Devolver,
thing.
Overkill. Yeah, I know. That's great that they're able to do that.
Yeah,
And to be
and
like,
I mean
yeah,
they're
we're fighting
gaining
back.
a lot of favor amongst their Australian friends.
Sort of what I'm hoping
Because-
is that they will make the DRM-free version be able to download some form of map editor thing. You know.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, there's that whole thing where maybe like someone outside of the region will be able to gift it to you, but we'll see.
Remy.
See how that works.
Yeah.
See how that works.
Yeah.
So there are 2 versions right now of the Hotline Miami 2. It's not out, but there's a pre-order going on, and the first
And that's
version
what
is
adds
just
to
the ordinary
hype
version.
train. I don't think
Right,
after
yes,
release,
and-
because Spring Break is on the 13th, but the game releases on the 10th. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we got the basic version, which is, I can't remember how much hype fuel that is. I think it's both like 5 gallons
It's 5
of
and
hype
then
fuel.
10.
Oh, it's 5 and 10? Okay, so the basic
Yeah.
version gives
5.
five hype fuel gallons to the machine, and then it'll also give you the 6 masks, which is 5 from the second game, the second Hotline Miami game,
And
and
biker
then
from
the
the
biker from the first Hotline Miami game. So the masks are Alex, who's the duck, and there's the biker one, and the zebra Corey, the snake Jack, and the rat Richter, and Tony's kind of second form where he got all shredded,
Yep.
where he's all bloody.
And yeah.
So they're all
Yeah.
plastic. All right.
Yes, we can see them. On the
Oh.
page you can click on them and they'll.
Oh, all right. So they're all okay. So Ed thinks they look pretty sloppy compared to the other ones we got.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got so many animal masks already.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, what?
Plus, we
unique
already have
masks?
a Mark mask.
Yeah, but what unique mask?
you
can
picked
we
up on
add
that?
to the game?
There's going to be a character called Mark, who's a bear in Hotline Miami 2. I think he's one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
fans. We already have a bear called Mark. It's
Yep.
that one that goes, "Hello, it is Mark from Russia." There was a bear before there was an empty or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really
And
know what
they
that
look
was
really
a reference
similar.
to. But yeah, we have
Um,
so many animal masks already. In fact,
Yeah.
there's just an inherent crossover that we already possess. So to add more animal masks just seems kind of redundant. There's nothing really special about it except making them look crappier, which, sorry to
Well,
say,
it's
they
biker.
actually have done.
True, but
It's
what
not
else
cheap
are we
now.
going to? What else are they going to actually add to it? I mean, the game Hotline Miami is literally about choosing which mask to use for every level. Payday is about heisting with masks. So I mean, the only logical option is to take the new masks from Hotline Miami and stick them in. I mean, there's not really any other you can put in. Like,
Well, I'm
Nobody
not
else
exactly
wears masks.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what new characters there are in Hotline Miami 2, although there are a lot of new ones. But I think what I was getting at was that the
yeah.
masks that we're getting with the pre-order DLC, most of them, it's just that we have them already.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Except for Biker, I guess. But I mean, the other ones, we already have something so similar
did we
that
not
there's
get
really
Biker?
no point in getting another version. And it's not
I don't
like
know
they're
why we
new
didn't get Biker.
characters in
Oh,
Hotline Miami 2, unless I'm mistaken.
there are many new
There
characters.
are a lot. Of
No,
new
well, I mean,
characters.
whether the new masks that we get are corresponding with new characters in the second game.
they are.
Oh,
Corey, Jack, Richter. Yeah, no, they're different characters, as far as I know.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't really like them
All right.
because they already
Well,
got them
you know.
kind of right in the first one. I mean, they were very rubbery, cheapy masks, which the game itself, Hotline Miami, kind of gave that feeling to me. And now they just don't really look right. They look like toys. But really, it's just
Yeah.
an aesthetic thing. I don't have to
Posed
use
a little
them.
bit, yeah. Well, I mean, to each their own. I won't be using them at all anyway. So.
Well, I find
don't
it
really
mostly
care how they
funny
look.
that Jacket has yet another mask. Although it's called Jacket this time, but it doesn't look quite as nice as the Richard mask we already have. So
Yeah, and Richard is Jacket, so I mean, yeah, a little bit of a.
oh, well, I mean, there is a little bit of contention there. Some people think that Richard isn't Jacket.
Well,
I mean, it's a
yeah,
part of
okay. I
his
guess
psyche.
we won't. I won't spark that. I won't add more flames to that fire. So I guess moving on to the deluxe part of it, with the Jacket character pack, and which is the perk deck and the hammer and the gun, which is pretty nice. So the Mach 11, I think actually my friend did some number crunching, and it's better than the current one that we have in the game. It's still not optimal, but better than the one we have, which
Do
is
you
good.
know how, like, in what ways better stability or accuracy?
Just overall stats, I think. I could ask him if he really wanted, but I think it was just in overall stats. It was better.
Well, would this make you want to use it? Because I don't know of many people who like to use the SMGs.
No, the SMGs are a really specific type of gameplay. Like, some ghosts will use them just because all of the perks that actually go with them are in the ghost deck. But it depends. Like, I know some people who use them for stealthing. I have a friend who uses a Pachette, or Patchett, or however you say it, with for Death Wish, actually. Because it can hit 40 damage, so it's actually the most optimal SMG. But there tends to be more optimal loadouts to use.
Yeah, exactly,
So-
because SMGs have that issue of concealability, and especially if you're going to be using it in, well, obviously a stealth operation, it might not be able to push your concealability down to a level that you prefer. So SMGs
Yeah.
are almost counterintuitive in that way to be in the ghost tree. I wonder why they haven't introduced a skill that, you know, makes your weapons have, or more concealable. I suppose they did that with Fugitive.
No, I guess they want to. Well, yeah, but I guess they want to focus more on balancing the concealability of weapons rather than just trying to kind of make up for it by adding a skill that decreases overall their concealability. Like, I
If
can
you
see
have a
that.
reason to use them, especially if you're a ghost, because I don't think I've ever spec'd into any SMG skills on the ghost side of
No,
things.
they're next to useless, really. So I'm not sure.
Well, I think concealability would be a pretty good incentive to actually start using them.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, if they got like optimal concealability, I'd still be using my pistol. Still better.
Just more controllable.
Yeah, but extremely, yeah, because SMGs, the entire point is they're automatic.
What pistols do you guys use?
Gruber. Gruber and Leo. The
Was that DLC? That was DLC, wasn't
Yeah,
The
it was with
Leo.
armored transport or armored.
the Gruber is
Heist.
armored transport, the Leo was bomb. Yeah.
it? During the spring break thing, I will be buying most of the weapon DLCs, I think.
You should. Pistol choice is good, except, Gruber is love. Leo is life. All that stuff.
We
Although
have all of the merchandise.
Yeah. Moving on to the jacket, the actual character. I mean, I like it. I'm gonna go with my personal opinion is I really like it because A, I like Hotline Miami. B, I like the whole idea of they kind of got his personality. I mean, I know it was gotten from Hotline Miami, but the personality is
Yeah.
still more fleshed out than anyone else they did. John Wick, Bonnie, Clover. Personality is still more fleshed out. He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Bold, disinhibited, violent, no guilt. He has like a legitimate backstory, which is, I mean, it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It says in his bio on like their hype website of it, that he's a soldier, and also there's going to be a character in Hotline Miami 2 called the Soldier. So does that mean Richard gets broken out? Well, Jacket gets
maybe.
broken out, and
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, because this
Yeah.
is sort of
that's
this is making a stand on the lore. Like, hey, Jacket's out. He's
Yeah.
out and about with the Payday gang that he's hooked up with
he'd be like
somehow.
60 or something. Because if he was an ex-soldier, he would have had to fight in Vietnam. Or
So do you
something.
think he like called up Bane and then just played some pre-recorded messages on his tape recorder, and Bane's like, "Yeah, welcome to the crew."
See, I can picture him actually just using like Microsoft Sam talk. Like, I feel like that'd be a better way.
I just feel it's so cheesy. I think
Yeah.
Microsoft Sam would be less cheesy than using the pre-recorded messages. And
That would be great.
Just
what I was
like carry
thinking-
around an iPhone and use Siri to talk. Yeah.
I was just thinking because this is
Fine by
like
me.
I don't know if this was Overkill's idea or Denaton Games' idea. I'm thinking more towards it's Overkill's idea, but they actually sort of staple down
it'd be like that
Jacket's
Transformer.
personality. I don't want to judge whether it's good or bad at this very point because I haven't obviously played with him yet, but this is like an addition to the lore. Like they're sort of sculpting the character without Denaton doing it. You know what I mean? Because he's never talked before. And you
But I
don't
think
really
it's
see
their
much
way
his
of getting
personality.
around that he doesn't talk.
Yeah, but
right?
now
'Cause I know
officially he
Biker
uses
talks.
a tape recorder to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
I mean,
I
I
wouldn't
don't
see him
think it'll come up
speaking
in
with anyone. at
Hotline
all.
Miami 2. But
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
think it's going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
Hotline
'cause-
Miami 2 canon, but I do think it's a kind of a clever way of getting around the speaking barrier.
yeah. Yeah, of course, because him being silent would.
Well, I wouldn't think he would be close to anyone at all, and I definitely would not turn my back to him.
It's also kind of illogical, really, when you think about it, because you're like, I suppose you use one, like if you have one hand on your gun, you always have to have one hand on a tape recorder, right, to say stuff. Like you always gotta like click it, rewind, click it again, rewind, click it again, and shoot with one hand. But how the hell do you use a sniper rifle? Like you're not like going one-handed with the scope. Like I don't know.
That's
There's
how
some
MLG is.
yeah.
He plays
just-
Battlefield Hardline.
He just no scopes even better when he has one hand on the rifle.
Yeah, speaking of that, is Jacket really old now? Because the game originally took place in the 80s.
Is it canon
and
though
he
that
was in,
he's?
What is canon in Payday 2, really?
Yeah, Payday 2 at this point doesn't really
even in
have a
Hotline
canon.
Miami,
It's like a fighting game. Just add whoever the hell, and they can fight with, the existing characters.
Payday 2 will have
Yep,
canon
like-
at the point that Batman joins the crew. And I'm fine by that then.
Press
But
the
right
Batman
now-
button
yes,
to win
Payday
the
2 is
heist.
DC canon.
That's like the secret 10th stop on the hype train is Batman joins the crew.
Bonnie is replaced by Batman.
Do you think people would have been as pissed if Batman joined the crew instead of John Wick?
I don't know.
Well, people have heard of Batman, and it'd just be funny. But John Wick, who the hell?
I don't know. Batman
like-
kills bad guys, right? I mean, technically the cops are the good guys, but he's not particularly into the good
Well,
guys
he's a
either.
vigilante. They're just trying to. It's
He's
self-defense,
evil.
apparently.
He's evil Batman. From
Oh yeah, he's the evil
it's,
Batman.
It's
No, that was
original
evil
Batman.
Superman.
The original Batman in the
Yes.
comics actually did kill people, and then they sort of changed that.
Yeah.
There you go. Original
All right,
Batman.
Perfect. Original Batman
And
joins
he used a
the
gun
crew.
too. Original Batman used a gun.
Oh, and do you know why he joins the crew though? Because Dallas is originally from Gotham, and he grew up there, and he grew up under the. That's how he knows how to use a gun
He was,
and everything. Because
he was
grew
Bruce
up under the
Wayne's
tutelage.
classmate,
Yeah.
and Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
he dropped out of school at one point due to some mysterious incident with his parents, and turns out
Gotham confirmed.
Dallas
Yeah.
was in trouble, and Batman got him out of a jam.
Exactly, and now it's time to repay the favor because Batman needs a spot on the crew.
They were also in the military together.
Yes, as well. Exactly. They also invented a lot together. They ran guns together from Gotham. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Jacket.
That out of the
It's
way.
from Jacket to
Someone-
Batman. We are really good at
Somebody
doing
call-
this.
Yeah. You know what? We should work for Overkill. We should be their lord team. I'd be down with that.
We'll keep it together.
And then ultimate fan fiction.
Yeah. All right. I think we should move on before we delve any deeper into the whole.
Now, why don't we talk about Jacket's face?
Or what they'll do, or lack thereof.
Ryan Gosling.
Hmm. What if they just make like a blank human head? Just like
What, like a mannequin?
yeah, like a mannequin.
Just like hair on it or something.
I was
No,
thinking,
not even hair, just blank mannequin head.
because once you just mentioned that, I was thinking, hey, what if? Because we're not supposed to have Jacket with a face, because Denaton Games has not really given him a face. But what'd be really interesting is every time Jacket gets into the game, his head model would be randomized. That would be interesting, because there's no really set thing, like no one's supposed to know.
Well, yeah, but
what
wouldn't
this
that
guy
kind
really
of
looks
imply
like.
that he's like a shapeshifter? Like, that wouldn't really work. Although, you know what could
know,
happen?
But that sort of
Made sense
implies
in my
that
head.
like
What if his jacket
everyone
has
is
a hoodie?
actually Jesus because they can just shout at people and they get like 7,000 bullets sucked out of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
Regardless,
gameplay thing.
If we're gonna see the guy's face, I mean, ignoring my previous idea, I mean, this is something that Overkill's setting for Denaton Games. Again, with
Yes.
the pre-recorded tape messages. I mean, although that's fair, that might not be lore. Well, that's not lore.
Technically, they're
sorry.
still adhering to the Hotline Miami canon of him not talking. Technically.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
if they're gonna give him a face, that is gonna be his face, unless Denaton Games is like, no, we're not gonna use that for our next game. We're just gonna use something else. But it'll be very interesting, because now, well, I'm just trying to flip this around. Like, let's say Denaton Games decides to put a new heister who eventually goes into Payday 2, and they give him a face, and then they're gonna use that face in Payday 2 when they eventually add them in. I don't know where I'm going with that example,
Well,
but essentially,
I guess this is where we'll see just how tight the collaboration is.
Yes.
If Payday is going to actually set canon.
exactly.
They're willing.
I don't know if it's out of Denaton Games' hands. Like
Ending of
Overkill
Hotline Miami 2. I'm calling this that he gets a phone call from Bane,
Well, phone calls
it's
are
that-
very in.
and then Bane goes, "Sorry, I've got the wrong number."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
In Simon's
And
characteristically
it just goes
cheesy
into
way.
like one of the songs.
Maybe
one of the-
maybe
There's
Baines'
gonna be a lot of
grandpa
songs in that game.
is a character in Hotline
No,
Miami
Bane just calls the wrong number and he calls the 50 blessings, trying to look for like Alex or maybe book Twitch's next gig, but no, he gets the hitman.
I really hope there's going to be some element of time travel.
There always has to be some element to time
Well,
travel. Always.
It's been teased by that time traveling cloaker in the pictures.
Obviously.
In the diamond.
No, we're
we-
not going back to that.
We were talking about that. Yeah, and we're like, and then
Yeah.
nothing ever happened.
Maybe nothing will happen. I don't know. We'll see what they do with Jacket. I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do with Jacket because I feel like they put a little more, like at least a little more thought into Jacket than they did with any of the other characters. They just kind of haphazardly threw in. Not that much more, but more nonetheless.
At least they have some sort of base that didn't originally come from them, I'd like to say.
Well, they had that with John Wick too, except
Disregarding John Wick, because he's really a very stock character, like classic revenge story cliche, but
Yeah.
with Clover and what was the other character? Dragon. I mean, their
Yeah.
backstories are very
Boy.
minimal. They really don't have that much. In fact, I was hoping they'd actually kind of expand more on Dragon, because in their character description, of course, this is something we already mentioned.
I
They're like,
forgot all about him.
they didn't really trust him, but he did something that made them trust him, and now he's a trusted member of the group.
administered
Trust.
CPR to
That's-
Houston.
He said to him some swear
That's
words,
why
and
we
he
need,
felt better.
That's
Yeah.
why we need all those FBI files.
Well, to be more serious, I was hoping like, hey, maybe they could do the mission where he really cemented his place in the gang, and
Nah,
yeah, well, screw it. Let's just add
Nah.
Jacket in.
just a plot device. All right, I guess
Oh, are you guys excited about the Jacket
yes.
character back?
I am very actually excited about this.
If I can get it, yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'll be endlessly cringing when I hear the pre-recorded tape messages, but we'll see
Yeah.
how they pull it off.
We will indeed.
I'm sure I'll be, accidentally thrown into playing his Jacket at some point. So
Probably kind of violated. Your beliefs have been violated. Accidentally.
All right.
So are we going to move on to the controversies of the week?
Yes, also known as controversies of the week.
Yes.
And I guess the first thing we should start off on is the confusion between the Butcher mod packs on the Steam store and the Hypetrain, because initially the Hypetrain came out first with the whole line of stops that we were going to get some products out of. And of course, one of them that we covered on our previous podcast was the Butcher mod pack, which I want to say that we were kind of excited for, mostly because of the AK scope mount that was going to be in there, so you wouldn't have that really janky positioning for the scope on your AK. But now,
Yeah.
apparently, that very same AK scope mount and pretty much all of the mods that were in the picture for the Butcher mod pack on the Hypetrain website are now paid DLC. And really, to be honest with you, I'm kind of peeved with this, because all I wanted was the AK scope mount, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to add another one into the mod pack number 2 that they're calling it now on the Hypetrain website.
Not that they can sell it now. Of course not.
What
Yeah.
other mods could they add? I mean, really, is it going to be more AK and Car 4 mods? Because don't they have enough?
Apparently not. We got to hit that 100 damage.
Well, they can't be too good, otherwise no one's going to buy the DLCs, are they?
Well, they were already the best, and now they're making them even better.
Well, no, I mean the Sorry, I just I was thinking of the ones in the Hypetrain. No. Like
Oh,
never
okay,
mind.
the actual mods
Yeah, yeah.
themselves. I see, they can't be
Those
better than the
ones
ones that
couldn't
they
be,
paid for. I just think it would be
Yes.
smart to release mods for every other gun at this point. They really screwed up on
For
that
free.
picture, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want kind of want mods for guns that are not always used. Like, what do I need on the Car 4, really? Do I need, like, another, like, shipping crate of ammo that I strap onto the bottom with duct tape? Not really. Do I need, like, another 6 concave lenses that I stick on the front to maybe see up my enemy's nostrils, be able to put a
Half of
bullet up
which
there?
you
Not really.
never use, or should I say 3/4 of them you never use? I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever used that military scope that was in the original game.
No. No, not really. So there's really not much else they can do with the optimal weapons. I want to see them add mods that'll raise some of the suboptimal weapons to optimal level. That's what I want.
Well, is optimal to you better than Car 4?
Optimal is what weapon works best with your build. And it just so happens that in most cases it's the Car 4.
Well, and that's the biggest shame, isn't it? Because I think the wise way to do it would be that, yes, ideally, you would pick this particular weapon for this particular situation, but right now, as you said, the Car 4 fits every situation, so what is even the point of giving other guns their own mods? It's like a fig leaf. So
Yeah.
here you can have this, but you know it's really not going to make a difference. You're still going to use the Car 4.
Yeah, pretty much.
At this point, I don't understand really what they could do. How many mod packs do we even really have? We have that Butcher mod pack, and I guess the Gauge Courier pack,
Mod Courier.
which also gave a lot
still
of
don't have
mods
that.
to the Car 4, and I guess the AK as well. I mean, how many more can they add at this point?
Not really that much. I mean, I want to see more pistol mods because they don't add, like, outside of creating mods
Silencing.
specifically for
A
the
particular
pistols
gun.
from DLCs. They don't have any, like, generic pistol mods or even, like, specific to a few of them, like the Car 4 ones.
Yeah, I can see the modular, you know, characteristics of the mods with what they've just given us in the Butcher mod pack. Like, that stock could certainly go on another gun, or
Yeah.
this scope in particular. But for pistols, yeah, because a lot of them are a different shape. So not all of them will flow from one to the other well without making an entirely new model. So it's certainly
Yeah.
going to be a lot of work. I mean, with the John Wick DLC, they came out with all those mods for the Glock. Since we have so many different types of Glocks, it sort of was the most economical way to work on making mods for the pistol. But I don't really see much more for the Colt 1911 or even...
Yeah, the unique ones, the
Yeah.
Bronco, all that. Yeah.
Or even the DLC. Like, I can't see them making mods for DLC weapons. Like, we were just
No,
talking about
no.
earlier. Like, are you going to give more mods to... What's that 007 gun? The PPK? I forget what it's called in the game. But you can only get it with Armored Transport. They're not going to make a DLC that
Yeah, the
gives you
grouper.
mods for a gun that you need another DLC for. So
No.
we're really limiting ourselves in that way. And I suppose that sort of answers our previous concern of why they decided to add more mods to the Car 4 and the AKs, because they're already in the game. But the thing is, they don't need more.
Yeah. Oh, actually, on shape, kind of off topic, or at least older topic, but shape of weapons. I was going to bring this up earlier when we were talking about concealability on SMGs. SMGs are meant to be kind of small and collapsible, right? Why is it that they have higher concealment or lower concealment? Or higher concealment, lower concealment? Yeah, lower. Yeah.
They stick out of your suit pocket more.
Yeah, apparently. Anyways,
Oh, yeah,
continue.
they're rather
Just had to
large.
kind of get that out of the way.
Wait, hold
Yes,
on.
you can
They're,
have
they're
a-
still higher than pistols.
Yeah.
Like, they're still more
Yeah.
visible.
Well, yeah, but they're still meant to be like like the Car 4 can be higher concealment than the SMGs, which is meh.
Yeah, I've always thought that SMGs they were way too visible for what you get out of it. Like, you may as well bring the Car 4 again.
Yeah.
And
Well,
why
I mean,
can't you
when
bring an SMG as a primary weapon? I've always thought that might have been an interesting idea.
Hence why I use akimbo, because
Mm.
I need...
Because you're
It might
bad.
be shit, but I mean...
Bad.
I
Yeah,
need-
because you're bad.
I need concealment.
Wait, that's not the way it works. If you need concealment, you can bring a pistol and like a shotgun, like a Raven.
Can you... Isn't that DLC?
The Raven?
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
not sure.
shotgun
A
pack.
shotgun DLC.
Pretty,
but
yeah.
That's why.
there
That's
we
why
are.
you use akimbo. There we go. We get to the root of the problem. I'll teach
Because
you.
I am too poor. I
Over
will
spring
buy.
break, I'll teach you the way of the pistol mind without
And the-
akimbo.
Well, no, I don't use it most of the time. It's just if I
There.
need 3 concealment.
Eh.
But then I accidentally leave the perk deck on while doing Hoxton Breakout, so I end up with it without Rogue.
Hold up. What perk deck?
No,
Swear to
not
God.
Rogue. Sorry, not Rogue. What was it? Crook.
Oh, okay.
It's the-
Alright.
It's the Suit Dodge one. Crook. And,
They really blend
sorry.
together, don't they?
Yeah. Crook, rogue, thief, vigilante. We need more of these synonymous perk decks.
Sociopath.
Yeah.
Sociopath.
Well, aren't we all? Where we've just taken the lives of millions of husbands or boyfriends or whatever. Then their
Whatever the
families
hell
will be
cloakers do in their free time.
the poor.
Cloakers, I guess cloakers don't really have a family. I mean, they sit there sleeping and eating in the vents, right? Like,
or lying under cars, committing
Yeah.
insurance fraud.
exactly. All right, is that all? Is
Well,
that
I mean,
all
I
for
actually
the,
wanted to point out just one
Ooh,
last
okay.
thing about the Butcher mod pack DLC that was featured on the Hypetrain website.
Yeah.
I just want to pretty much pose a question because
Yeah.
if the picture that they put on the Hypetrain website really was a placeholder, I just wonder like why the hell didn't they just use the generic blacked out silhouette picture that they've been using the whole time? I mean, the fact that they showed a picture with all the mods there sitting on the table clearly shows that they had it ready in some way. It wasn't just like a picture they took off Google. They made them, they rendered the picture, and they put it on there. And then they did a little switcheroo. I don't know. This
Well,
is just
they
something
went-
that made me really kind of confused.
misleading? Maybe a teaser gone wrong, or maybe just someone at Overkill
Well,
just decided to say, "Fuck
if
it, I
you-
can't find the
These
generic
mods are the
image."
good ones. We should sell these for money.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're
Yeah,
just like,
exactly,
"JK, just playing," pulled it off, and then, you know what? These are really good. Let's actually sell them. Yeah. Well, sounds like something they do.
Well,
You,
I mean,
uh,
they certainly pull themselves out of the muck by giving out good news right after they hit us with that little bomb.
Yeah.
Did you play with the mods, by the way? Are they any good?
I haven't played with them yet, no. But it's on the list for the weekend.
Do you
Yeah.
have that?
I haven't.
DLC,
I don't have the
yeah.
DLC just yet, no. But, it's on the
Yeah.
list.
Well, we might get a review in a week or two, I suppose, from you.
Yeah. Next week or the week after, one of the next episodes, I'll have a
Yeah.
have a nice review ready.
Looking forward to
Alright.
it. So, I guess the next controversy of the week.
Speaking of
is-
things we're looking forward to,
yes, it's
Yeah.
regarding
Crimewave Edition.
Payday Crimewave Edition for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Xbone. Thank you
PS4
very
and
much.
the Xbone.
Now, I found this one particularly funny because when it was announced, I think there was an interview with Almir that was posted on Eurogamer.net, and literally the entire article's just following the general structure of why did you screw us, and then Almir comes out with a very eloquent, PR-friendly response.
Form letter is the proper term.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure
It's,
anyone who's been on the forums is not unfamiliar with the threads that have, the errant console player coming in and asking when is, the next update for Payday 2 going to come out for the Xbox 360 / my PS3?
the shitstorm of peasantry. Yeah.
Yes. Regardless, Almir pretty
You
much
get all
came
the
out
DLC.
and
Yeah.
straight up said that the PS3 and the Xbox 360, we've given up on it. I don't know why he didn't say this sooner. I guess he was waiting for this particular announcement, but he says, sadly, we now understand that it's impossible to continue developing Payday 2 updates for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. We wish we
Well,
could
I mean,
provide
it's
more
a
updates, he says.
Hooray.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hooray,
just
we get,
too much.
With the DLC, we get the John Wick character pack. That's part of its what will it contain. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. I guess a little.
And like all the Hoxton stuff. Like, yeah.
I don't know. From a development point of view, I can see
Like,
why they do
wouldn't
this.
they count as updates?
I guess they count as updates.
They count as updates.
They're free updates,
No
right?
split screen.
Yeah.
No split screen. Ugh.
Well, yeah. In all
Next
fairness,
console's
Man,
pointless.
that's actually a real shame because that's what the consoles have been really been doing good at, I guess. That's one of their
It's the only
advantages.
point of the console.
For
Local
those few games that
multiplayer.
you can play, yes, on the couch. And for Payday 2 especially, I thought that would be a wonderful addition because it is a co-op game, and co-op games, although they can be played online, I mean, couch co-op would have been a really good selling point for Payday 2, but unfortunately I guess
would've.
they don't have the horsepower on the next-gen consoles even to do that.
Well, I guess
And it
they
will probably
yeah,
run at
they have the
30 and look
horsepower.
like crap.
They just have to change up their engine a little bit to allow for that.
Yes, actually, that
Some networking.
Lockie actually did mention something really funny about the 30 FPS because, you know, I know you were joking, but actually that was another question that
No.
popped up during the interview, and he's like, "We're not sure if it'll run at 60 FPS. We will tell you in the future." So, ooh, that's
We'll
like,
tell you
oh,
when we realize how much FPS it runs at.
It's like we realize this is a
720p.
mistake to re-release the game on these consoles. They're really not powerful enough.
That's surprising, actually. Like,
It's like, really? You can't play this game on the new consoles?
like
It
I
doesn't-
run it at 90 at 1080, and it,
Yeah, you don't
To
really
be
like
care.
around
fair, it's
90
kind of a
It's still a
shitty engine. Like, I don't see why it
Yeah.
should have any trouble running well on the next gen consoles. It shouldn't have
Yeah.
any issue at all. If it does, the console is not the problem. From a dev standpoint, though, I can see why they retire support. Like, I mean,
Yeah, of
having
course.
to maintain like deployment to both PC and Mac, Xbox 360 and Xbone and PS3 and PS4, that's essentially like, I guess, Xbox 360 and Xbone, and then the PlayStations are very similar, but it's essentially 4 different deployment processes. And now the other 2
Yeah.
for PC and Mac, that's 6 different ways they have to deploy the game. And I suppose it'd be easier to just take the current game with all of the updates, all of the DLCs in it, and deploy it straight to the consoles rather than taking the time to send every single new update to the old consoles. Do it all in one kind of massive update instead of tiny little bits.
That's fair, but I mean, that also kind of outlines the advantages we have as PC players. Because to get it from, well, just to go back and look, to get it working on the PS3 as well as the Xbox 360, which are 2 very different platforms, especially from a programming perspective.
Yes,
as far as
especially.
I've heard.
Yes,
I can
extremely.
see the trouble that they would run into there, but are the improvements on the new consoles really that much better? Like, it's going to be that much easier for them to do so? They're still going to have to make 2 different sort of updates, considering they have 2 different consoles to support.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but 2 deployments is still better than having to tweak the deployments to do 2 more.
Fair
And it's
enough.
mostly for the fact that you'd have to, like, rather than if they had to continue support for the old gen consoles, for example, if I
More
wanted to add
assets.
all the new DLCs, that we do like, okay, first everyone send out the Butcher mod pack. Okay, everyone then send out the Bonnie character pack. All right, then send out whatever. Or even for the ones we've done in the past. So like, all right, guys, first we'll send out the diamond. Okay, everyone has a diamond. All right, now we'll send out the bomb. And this is like game assets, mind you, not necessarily DLC purchase.
Well,
Whereas if they do the
Yeah.
new consoles, it's like, okay, we'll send it all out in one bundle. We're done.
Well, the amount of work, that's something I'm not disputing. Well, 2 is only updating 2 platforms instead of 4 is definitely infinitely better, but I just want to know like how they're going to make reparations, because during that interview, that Eurogamer interview again, Almir did say they were kind of considering a cheaper price for those making a jump between the console platforms, and he also said,
Yeah.
maybe some form of exclusive bonus, but he hasn't really given a solid answer yet, because he says
Elaborated,
it's
yeah.
yet to be locked down. But
Yeah,
I'd say
we'll
a
see.
deep discount would definitely be a wise move, because they've been holding back on updates for a long time. I just
They've
can't
been
imagine how
screwing console
agonizing that would
users.
be to be like playing on the console. And you're seeing like 50 updates go out for the PC, and like you've only got update 2.
Yeah, I can see they've basically been screwing consoles over for ages now, but we'll see what they do here. Maybe Alamir will be able to make up for this. We'll see.
I'd say like a coupon or something, man. Like return your
Yeah.
copy of Payday 2 to us, and we'll and like staple a $10 bill to it, and we'll mail you a next gen copy.
Problem is, I mean, looking at it from a dev standpoint, the problem with going to PC versus consoles is that PC Steam especially takes a very, very reasonable royalty from what you sell. Very, very reasonable. Whereas if you go to consoles,
Yeah, what was...
EA everywhere.
Are there any... Yeah.
There's some massive hoops to jump through just to use like the stores, the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Marketplace. So even
And
then, if
actually
we
getting
offer us a
updates.
coupon, yeah, even getting updates. Like if I were to get a coupon,
It's like...
if Alma were to offer everyone a coupon, if they had it on the older gen consoles for the newer gen, I don't know how well that would go over because they might not make that much profit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously profit's always an issue. Like, I guess you're thinking they might offer a coupon on the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store. I was thinking it was going to be more something out of the official stores' hands. Like, it'd be something of a direct reparation tactic directly to Overkill.
Well, the problem is you can't do that with the consoles. Like, it's a limitation of the console. With Steam, you get free reign. You know, you request like 50 Steam keys, so they mail you 50 Steam keys. You could distribute them however you want. It's whatever you want to do. You can toss around the keys. With the consoles, from a dev standpoint, it's not that easy because everything has to go through the marketplace. You can't just toss a key to someone.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to specifically
that's-
email the marketplace people, the customer support, and request that this user be given a free copy.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And again,
Which
it
is
kind
a
of
pain in the ass.
outlines the issues of how, well, I want to say stagnant
Consoles
that
in general.
system is, sadly enough.
Like, if we're arguing here, we're arguing why Steam is better than any of the distributions on the consoles right now.
Yes, we're preaching to the choir, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Because there are competition. There's competition on those
I don't even, well, it's barely
Well, you
even
know.
competition. It's like they don't know that this system's better yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only selling point I could see for playing Payday on a console is couch co-op. That's the only selling standpoint I could see that'd be worth
Which
it,
isn't a
but they
thing.
don't have it.
Well, also, if all of your friends have consoles.
Well, yeah, but
That's a really bad incentive. I've got a
That's-
bunch
yeah,
of
that
friends
is
who are
a
like,
horrible
"Oh, hey, play Battlefield 4 with us." It's like, "Oh yeah, what system you got it on? PS4?" Yeah, okay, you guys can play yourselves. That's fine.
yeah, have
It's like
fun.
I'm not gonna
Obviously, you're on my
downgrade.
PC.
I'm not gonna downgrade to a console and spend like $400 and just play a game I've already played on the PC and I could run it much better.
Played the newer version on the PC.
Yeah, and I get updates a little quicker as well.
Down-
Although actually,
downgrade.
to be fair, even EA is kind of weird on the updates. Like they hold back the PC update until the console ones come out. And
Well,
I
that's
certainly
'cause
hope
they're
that doesn't.
also like.
They're bigger. They're much bigger.
Well, they're
company.
also kind of, I mean, putting it in a form, I guess everyone can understand. They really like to suck the console's dick because, like, EA is all console games, basically. Anything, it's like EA is like console first, PC later.
They certainly love those sports games.
Yeah, yeah, NHL, NFL,
Well-
yeah, Madden, yeah. I'm getting
FIFA,
Madden about this.
Wasn't there this huge thing about Watch Dogs? That they locked off settings on the PC version to the depth of field.
God,
Well, I
never
mean, I
heard of
just
that.
don't know if that was like. I don't even know
Yeah,
if that was
if that
intentional
was-
because some devs are just like, no, we
Yeah.
don't want you to turn off this setting. We're not even going to program the
wasn't
option
done.
in. But I know they did kind of, well, it wasn't really a lockout sort of thing, but they did have this alternate shader or graphics setting that you wouldn't be able to get normally, but if you went into the config file, you'd be able to switch it to like the E3 graphical settings. It had actually made it look way better, but for some reason they had disabled it. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
that's what happened. But I just hope that Overkill doesn't do what EA does, like hold back the PC content until the console version's out in
I
an
don't think
effort
they'll do
to
that.
not piss off the console population yet again.
Well, I mean, obviously they've had so far haven't had much of an issue with pissing off the console population. So
They've been
I don't think
quite
there's an issue there.
quite good at it.
They've set a precedent.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, yeah, they set the bar quite low. Good point.
Yeah.
You know, they can only go up from here, as
Yeah.
awful as that sounds.
It's the truth. And then there's this whole they've promised content up to 2016, which is great. And then
No.
for the Crimewave Edition. Huh. Okay.
Ah, yeah.
They said they said they promised content up to 2016
That's
for the PC,
PC
version, and that goes
That's
for the
it.
Crimewave Edition too. So hopefully,
But it also said up to 2016 and onwards.
and onwards. Well, here's the thing. This is also from a dev standpoint. It's a good thing. This is the entire reason for the Crimewave Edition, because Almir is like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to manage both a different update schedule for both the console version and the PC version. So fuck it. We're going to re-release the console version as an updated version. It'll all be on the same update schedule. Everything will work together as one, which is perfect. See, that's the entire reason for it will be so much easier for us to add new content into the game.
Oh man, I'm just wondering what other game, let's say on the console, has as much DLC as Payday 2 on the PC.
Oh man,
and I wonder if console players are going to be as open to that sort of thing.
I can't think of something that has that much DLC. Like the only thing I can think of that has a lot of DLC is like Borderlands.
Paying more for stuff.
Maybe. Borderlands 2 has a lot of DLC, but nowhere near the amount that Payday does.
Yeah, like Borderlands has much bigger DLCs. Like it's actually kind of a new world,
a lot of content,
weapons, and obviously voiceovers and stuff. Whereas Payday is really just smaller bundles, but more of them essentially. And I don't know if consoles are really into that thing. I mean, I know there's tons of stuff on the console that you need to pay for, like avatars and stuff like that. But I mean, for games, like, are console players expecting like bigger things? Are they going to be into buying these really tiny DLCs? I'm not exactly sure.
I think they're going to be most used to having just bigger DLCs for a bigger price, because that's how it usually works. I mean, even then, releasing a bigger update is easier than releasing a bunch of smaller updates. Again, from a dev standpoint, it's easier. So I guess they're expectant of that. But
you know, Payday's updating model is that technically every time they introduce some new content into the game, although you need to buy the DLC to use it, everyone technically has the content in terms of data.
Yeah.
So considering how many updates Payday gets on the PC, it's not so intrusive on the PC because it's I'm launching the game, it's updating, I can just alt tab and do something else, that's cool. But on the console you might have to sit there and wait quite a few times, like almost every time, considering the frequency of how many updates there are with Payday. You might be updating it almost every time you launch the game. That could be kind of troublesome.
That's fair point, actually.
So
that's
again
another reason for the bigger DLCs.
That leads me back to the problem that they had with the 360 and the PS3 is that because they didn't want people updating like every time they would play the game with the new content, they would start to bundle all this stuff. And because they started to bundle all this stuff, they ran into the issue of, hey, the system doesn't have the power to handle something this big. So would they run into the same issue with the new consoles? I'm almost expecting that they would.
Yeah, I think they would.
Because I don't think the consoles were designed for like so many small updates over.
No, they're designed for bigger updates.
Yeah. Unless I'm missing something very critical here with the new next-gen consoles with the magic
What you sort of have to keep in mind with consoles, like especially last-gen consoles, they were designed in like 2005 and 6.
If not earlier. Because, I mean, they had to think about what kind of hardware was going to go in there, and obviously they have to design it. So the hardware that they're working with at that time probably is, like, super old by the time they release it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, the new console, it's also not necessarily just the hardware, but it's also the software. Like, I remember on the PS3, it was actually, you were actually able to tab out, per se, while something was updating, which was actually really nice. So it really depends on how they decide to work with it. I mean, what they could do is just bundle it all as one download and then go with that, one big download. But then, I guess, as you said, the newer, as each one releases, there'll be a smaller update, which would get annoying.
I thought it would have been really nice if they had not only just added local couch co-op, but made it so that you could kind of play with people on the other systems, because obviously that's an issue with the systems themselves. I'm assuming Microsoft and Sony are like, no, we don't want them to play with each other. We don't want both systems to play with each other. Just make them work with their own population.
Well, that's because they have their own online functionality, right? They have their separate. They have Xbox Live and they have
Well,
the PlayStation.
for that I can understand, but like to
It
play
has
with
been
PC
done, though.
players, I think it was with Shadowrun on the 360. It was one of the earlier 360 games that actually worked with the PC
Games
version.
for Windows
so,
Live.
so clearly they can make it work. I don't know about cross-console, but at least play with the PC players in some way.
Well, it depends because then we get to like a whole back end standpoint because the PC networking is different than the console networking, and then again with the console networking, multiplayer on it's Steam, right? Friends matchmaking is all done through Steam, and if you were to try and integrate that with the consoles, you basically have to try and like you'd have to integrate Steam with every single console's respective multiplayer. So Steam itself would have to integrate with Xbox Live and with PlayStation Online.
Yeah, I suppose
Which is a
because it uses
really
Steamworks.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With
that
like
could be a
invite
tough
to
thing.
game, join game, you wouldn't be able to do that
Well, actually, I think
cross-platform.
I think Valve actually did it with the PS3 and the PC version of Portal 2. They were able to get them to play with each other. But I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but I'm also wondering.
That's direct though. That was directly from Portal to Portal rather than through Steam.
I just wonder
'Cause
how that works.
You had to, yeah, it was direct rather than through Steam. Because like for Portal 2, because it's co-op, it's not like a drop in, drop out, right? Like it's you pull someone in, you play a level, you're done. With co-op, with Payday, it's like drop in, drop out all the time, right?
Well, you know,
Someone's coming in, someone's going out, unless
that's
you
not
play with crew.
ideal. But yes,
No.
that unfortunately is the case.
Yeah, which is no.
But I just find it also funny that it's coming out on next-gen consoles, and I'm just deathly afraid that people who have next-gen consoles who are expecting like super high-level graphics, they pick up Payday 2 without looking at the back of the box, and they're like, this looks like shit. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because it is kind of a janky game between all of us. I mean, everyone who plays and who
Graphics.
listens. I mean, yes, the graphics are definitely not up to par. Our
We don't have
console
the
players
next
going to
gen
be
par.
are console players going to be accepting of this? Because it's not even a DLC game at this point. It's something that's sold in the store. I would understand for a DLC game, despite how good they're all looking now, but like, is it really using the most of my hardware?
Well, I mean, they're spoiled on the console, right? Because they have a hardware standard that every game can apply,
Which is why,
can
the last gen consoles
adhere
could
to.
run
That's
games
it.
far better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because they have a standard to adhere to, right? Like you have all the Battlefield games look really good, Call of Duty games they look really good, all like like Thief, all those games they all look really good on consoles because it's a standard hardware. And then you get like they release GTA 5, let's say, on the consoles. Hey, everything looks great. Then you release it on the computer. I might get great FPS.
When?
Astra won't. So,
Yes, I will.
oh, you will you?
With this new
Yes.
brand spanking new
R9
PC.
270. R9 270.
Okay, I guess maybe you will. But point being,
Yeah, mate.
there's no hardware standard with a computer. So
So
they
you could
have
go
to,
from all levels. Like you could have a 2D game, and it'd be just as accepting of. The audience would be just as accepting of that as with a
Right.
really high level looking game. I just
Like I feel Almir or Overkill made the decision to make the. I feel like they probably could have made the graphics better, but I feel like they made the decision to kind of keep the graphics a little lower, just to support the older gen consoles and to kind of support older computers. Like I don't think they wanted to specifically cater to new gaming computers, people that have like massive gaming rigs.
Well, I definitely agree that graphics or good graphics wasn't their original objective, but I don't think they deliberately made it shitty because they wanted
No.
to cater to people's crappy PCs. I just think that was what they were stuck with the engine they decided to use.
Well, when you code a game almost entirely in Lua, yeah, you're gonna get that kind of shit.
Well, I guess I'm on the side of the fence where I'm almost seeing it being pointless to have yet another re-release of Payday on the consoles. In my opinion, I would have been just like, hey, we give up. We're just going to exclusively support PC because that's where we've been making most of our money. But what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Like, was it good to re-release it after the debacle that went on before?
To re-release it
I
on the
guess
console?
so.
Yeah. I think it is. I think.
But I mean,
Mm.
have fun paying for online.
Yeah, I know. Also, you got to pay for online. That's another entire thing. I don't want to get into that. Though.
And
That's an
because
entire
there's no
debate.
split screen, there's nothing in that game for people without that.
You know
So-
what? I think the bottom line is the console players are going to be a little annoyed, but they're going to accept it and be happy anyways because they finally have an updated version of the game that will get regular updates, and they can finally talk and be one of the part of their crowd that they can finally go to their friends that have the PC game and be like, "Hey guys, I'm one of you guys now.
I guess
I know all your stuff too."
I guess we're just living a charmed life on the PC because I can't imagine just playing CrimeNet offline because
Yeah.
I didn't pay for online.
I had to do it when
That would
my
be sad.
internet was.
Imagine
must
it. Just
have
CrimeNet.
sucked.
The only option you have on your menu is CrimeNet offline. You're not allowed to play Payday online. Just think about what a
I
life
know.
that would be.
I would probably turn and play like the Call of Duty campaign. I wouldn't play.
Honestly, that would be the best thing, wouldn't it?
Like, what is there to do? Like, what am I gonna solo stealth Shadow Raid for the 50,000th time? Like, no.
I still haven't done that on Death Wish.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe we'll keep an eye on the Crimewave Edition and see what the sales numbers are like.
Yeah, June.
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe get some opinions from console players, and then possibly hope that they
Yeah, console
don't know
peasants,
the PC,
give us your opinion on this. We'd really like to hear
PC
it.
Is there
What do
is there
you
a single
guys
person who
think?
listens to
Yeah.
this that plays on consoles? Probably just gets them pissed off talking about content they don't get. Not to sound
It's like
dickish,
dangling
but that was
the carrot on
unintentional.
a stick.
Yes. Well, like I said, I don't have high hopes for the Crimewave Edition. I understand it's a business decision to push it out in the consoles, but I just can't see it going well. I mean, graphics, staggered updates. We'll have to see how it goes, like we said.
Well,
But-
anything to do with the consoles and the PCs eventually ends up being a shitstorm. So
Well, it's gonna have to merge together at some point. Consoles are gonna be outdated. Well, they're already outdated, but eventually they're gonna have to pick up the slack and understand that there's already a better platform out there.
yep. All right.
Alright, guys, it's time to go, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's about all we have for this week.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we did reach the end of the document, so yeah, thank you for listening.
It is true.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
An enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.